Hello, baby, and welcome to Please Don't Send Me into Outer Space, this podcast intent on exploring all that science fiction and fantasy has to offer, one movie at a time. My name is Joel.
My name's Sarah.
And my name is Aaron.
Not even Super Aaron this time.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. No, my name is Ernest Borgnine, the cop Aaron.
The movie this week is Super Fuzz, a.k.a. Super Snooper, from 1980, directed by Sergio Carbucci, and written by Sergio Carbucci and Sabatino Ciaffini. Starring Terrence Hill, Ernest Borgnine, Joanne Drew, Mark Lawrence, and Julie Gordon. There's probably other names on here, but I just got this short list because, I don't know.
There wasn't even like a credits sequence at all.
No, it wasn't the beginning.
Oh, there was?
Yeah, we just didn't have it at the end.
Oh, okay.
The movie ended on the perfect note.
Oh, yeah.
Which looked like kind of a giallo, like all we see is his eyes as he's being murdered thing. I'm not sure. The movie this week was selected for us by a very special listener. My brother Kim, no relation. He's recently been helping us with upgrading equipment, and I just want to say a big thank you so much to you, Kim.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you, Kim, for both the equipment and this movie.
And this pick.
No, I don't. Why are you guys thanking him for this? What's going on here?
We have a lot to talk about, Joel.
There's a rebellion.
We have got a lot to talk about, thanks to Kim.
Oh, what do we?
Because first of all, we can talk into a microphone of higher quality now. Thank you.
True. Yeah.
And we've got some subject matter. This movie.
Well, we just finished watching it. And,
yeah.
For anyone who's interested in seeing it, it is on Amazon Prime if you have Prime, and it's also in full on YouTube. And I really can't remember anything about what we just watched. It's kind of
now, are you saying that because you're like a war-torn refugee and all the horrors you've just seen, you just don't want to relive, or is it just you'd prefer to just not talk about this? Like, what's that?
No, I'm saying
what's the story?
Did we even watch a movie there?
Oh, you're saying was it like a dream?
Yeah, I think the only thing. Wait, hold on. There's something. It's a
man who you see, and he looks just like you and me. Didn't you know? Everything he got don't show. There's a car who you see, and he looks like every car on the street. You will discover.
No, that can't be. That wouldn't make any sense, right? I don't think we've seen a movie with its own theme song. Maybe Petey Wheatstraw.
Wheatstraw.
I was thinking there aren't that many movies that have a theme playing pretty frequently throughout, except maybe Hawk the Slayer.
Okay. Hawk the Slayer definitely had a pretty consistent theme.
But this one rivals it.
If we're talking about like oh yeah, wait, I know what you were doing. You wanted me to talk about how Gremlins has a very memorable theme song. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Ghostbusters has a memorable theme
Ghostbusters
song,
have
but
a very memorable, yeah.
It's not playing throughout the entire movie, though.
That's true. Yeah, every time the Ghostbusters are doing something busting related, they would play that song every time. No, that's what happened in this one, though.
Uh-huh.
And the funny thing is, I think they were just playing one chunk of the song, but if you look on YouTube for this theme song, it's a 6-minute long song, so it could have just looped it.
That's the discotheque version.
Yes, well, I mean, did you feel the spirit? Did you feel like you should be getting up and dancing?
Yeah. Yeah, this was a...
what the hell?
Sorry, Joel. I was still watching. I was in a trance. This movie put me into a trance-like state. I don't think I was given the opportune moment to get up and dance. The visuals were so crazy. This movie's crazy.
Yeah, the song that's playing throughout the movie, if it reminded me of another song, it's probably Shake Your Groove Thing.
Okay.
Playing.
Show me how to do it.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of Prom Night.
The movie?
No, just the song. Just the way, like, the lyrics didn't actually seem to make any sense. And
What was the song for Prom Night again?
I just remember the part where it was like, Prom Night. It was when Jamie Lee Curtis and that guy were dancing together.
Oh, discoing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, wow.
I've only seen it the once.
Yeah, so have I, but it's an important part of history. Just like Super Fuzz. What would you say Super Fuzz is about?
Super Fuzz is about a man, an American man.
All American
Cowboy man.
Giddy up.
Who's also a cop. And this movie's about his adventures.
Cowboy man that's a cop.
Yep.
You know what that reminds me of?
What's that remind you of?
Rotor.
Oh, see, I was thinking of Rotor because
Rotor.
that's another example of a movie with songs in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But none of the songs are like, Rotor's coming for you.
Could you imagine? Can you imagine?
I mean, that's
disco beat.
Like a disco beat to Rotor?
that's Miami Connection, you know?
Yeah.
Totally.
Rotor's coming for you.
Loyalty, honesty.
Machinery.
Oh.
That sounded what you said.
Rotor's coming for you.
Yeah, that sounds like Three's Company.
Oh, yeah.
Rotor's coming for you. Better lock up your door.
Oh,
Don't be driving late at night. Okay, so this movie made us punch drunk, I can tell already.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. That's fine.
I laughed pretty darn hard at this one.
There were a couple moments where you were like psychic. You knew what was about to happen.
That's the thing.
I'm a little weirded out by that too. I don't know how I connected so well with this movie.
Didn't you say you had like certain cable channels when you were growing up?
I mean, there's an opportunity. There might be a chance that I've seen this before, but I couldn't tell you. But it felt right at a certain moment when I was like, a story beat was gonna tie up a certain way. Like, it just hit me. I was like, okay.
I think it was probably on the rotation before you were born.
Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah, it was saying it was playing on HBO in the 1980, like literally. So that's
I didn't exist till for like 3 years later. So,
but little soul of Aaron in heaven was just waiting for his chance.
9 months before June. So maybe a little bit of 1982.
Your father watched it, and the twinkle in his eye.
That's right.
Absorbed it.
That's right.
I think
It's one of my favorite movies in heaven. What can I say, guys?
heard this in the womb.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
You can hear the heartbeat here. And what's that other sound? I didn't find much of this to be funny, but man, Aaron or Sarah calling out like, "Oh, is this going to happen?" and then it happening was hilarious.
There was a couple moments where I lost it, and I mean we can get into it at any moment you want, and I can deliver that for you, but I figured are we going to do like a little bit of a synopsis of this film, or how we tackling this?
Yeah, let's synopsize this whole
Okay.
thing. No, quickly. Who's got it? Sarah, you got it?
Sure, give it a try. A cop who was a rookie was paddling through the Everglades
Something like that, yeah.
and was exposed to radiation.
Red radiation.
And after that, he had superpowers that he didn't know how to control exactly. But he was able to move a manhole, over a cover over a manhole, and he was able to detect where some crimes were happening. Anyway, his partner is also the uncle of his girlfriend, and there's some shenanigans going on with the criminals in, I'm guessing, Miami, where they live.
Yeah.
Well, if I learned anything from Dexter, it's that Miami is this hive of scum and villainy that, like, crimes are happening all the time.
It's true. There's always multiple serial killers there at one time.
Oh, for sure.
Also, I assume the TV show and the subsequent movie, Miami Vice, was about Miami, but I haven't actually seen any of that. It could have been like Miami, Wisconsin.
You actually have never seen an episode of Miami Vice?
I have not, no.
Okay.
Why are you so angry?
Oh, I'm not angry, dude.
Don't hit me.
There's a really good
Help!
There's a good Phil Collins episode.
Oh. That's all you had to say.
Yeah. I think Spencer is the one who turned me onto that.
That's right, yes. I recall him talking about that. So the major crime scene going on is a counterfeiting ring in this particular film.
Right. They're trying to catch some criminals that have been counterfeiting dollar bills that are pretty convincing. And the super cop has been detecting some crimes, and he has been told by his superior that he isn't supposed to do anything without checking with him first.
Right.
Because he's following hunches. Yeah, they're investigating some crime, and that's basically where it starts off, where their journey begins.
Yeah, he's a crime magnet. Or he's just, I mean, he could detect anything that's going on by.
Elephants.
Yeah, did he read those elephants' minds? Is that what, or was he seeing the future?
Yeah.
I don't even know if he fully knows what his gifts are.
No, he's just figuring out as he goes along. Move things with his mind for sure.
Psychic.
A bit psychic. He knows, he is like he can tell right before something's about to happen when it's going to happen.
Sometimes.
Because, like, somebody crosses the street, or he knows they're going to get a call on the radio, or, stuff like that. But yeah, it doesn't work all the time. He's also nigh invulnerable, because he jumps out of, 10 stories or something?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he jumps 10 stories down.
Mm-hmm.
Or dives through a glass pane of window and falls 10 stories down.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, a dummy that was supposed to be...
Wait a minute. You guys, I just realized something.
What's that, sir?
How did the other guy know what was happening?
Which other guy?
The dog guy.
Oh, that's not explained.
Oh, okay. Good. I'm just making sure that I didn't miss something.
Well, I mean, he was just like on the sidewalk with a dog when he first experienced when he fell and survived. Right? Super Cop's fall. And then I think he said something around the lines of, like, I really like your act.
A beautiful move.
Right.
Like
he thought it was, but then he also witnessed it when he tried to do the same trick again, and he got hurt that time.
Oh, that's right.
And this guy, I don't know if he was secretly a super genius, but he put it immediately together that if our super cop sees red, and it has to be the same, one of the things we didn't say is the way he got his powers was, did you say that from a nuclear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
Red-colored nuclear blast or something.
he decides to fire his weapon off in the air,
I think that
detonating the rocket.
that was a coincidence. Because it was supposed to go off over the village anyways.
Okay.
You know, when that went off, and his duty right then was to try and track down a parking violation, and the alligator was there and everything.
Yeah.
I was kind of wondering if we were in the future.
Oh.
I didn't know why we would just be letting, like, radiation be everywhere.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was a scheduled dump or something.
Yeah.
Some chemicals or whatever.
That's just like a hard look at reality. I mean, just think about all the nuclear testing and radiation testing that's going on all the time all around us. Like, this movie has some harsh truths in it. Like,
That's very serious.
it's got, misogyny that shows that, like,
big time.
in a big window of, like, obviousness. It shows the corruption of the police force, the roughing up suspects before we even get any information out of them. It shows them taking advantage of illegal gambling establishments, and it shows that you don't have to be from America. No, I don't know. I've run out of things to say. You remember where he was going to put that ticket, though?
Yeah, he was going to put that on the totem pole, I believe, of this particular tribe.
I feel bad, but was this guy a good actor?
I mean, I think it could have been a lot worse. I don't know. Was he a good actor?
With the material he had, I think he did a pretty good job.
I'd say he had okay comedic timing.
Yeah. There was definitely some pretty quirky moments with him. But I think those kind of weird, quirky moments that he had kind of like made this movie more fun for me in a way. Like his weird laugh, at finding out some news, or like just the way he wore his cowboy hat around kind of really made it for me in a way.
There was a lot of stuff going on here.
There's so much stuff going on in this movie.
Yeah, a lot to unpack here.
I liked his, like, American cowboy disguise when he wasn't in cop uniform.
That's just his everyday.
Oh, sorry,
Exactly, yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Wranglers in a button up.
He's got three outfits. He's got his cop uniform.
Mhm.
He's got his cowboy-ish uniform, and then he's got his coveralls that he wears when he's in prison.
His jail
yeah.
uniform.
That's right.
We didn't even mention the way this movie starts is in media res, which is they've already tried to execute him 3 times for committing a murder, and he's miraculously survived each time.
They did a zoom in on a girl's face in the laundromat when they say this on TV or something. Is it in the laundromat?
It was a laundromat.
Yeah.
She was like washing her red sweater or something. I don't know. I think we need to go back to the tape.
Yeah, we don't know who she is at the time, but we find out later that's his girlfriend.
That's his forced fiance.
Oh,
Let's get this
oh
straight.
man. And he is like, yeah, he wants that wedding proposal, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
You're going to marry me, and you're going to like it.
Yeah.
And I like that her reaction is, at the first time that happens is she slaps him, and the second time she doesn't respond. And then to spoil the ending, it like switches to them getting married, but she's pulled a trick on him. So I think she wasn't into it the way a character wouldn't be, or the way a person wouldn't be, rather, not a character.
I agree with you. I felt her response in the end was fantastic to the scenario she was in.
Yeah, I mean, She did seem to like him, but I thought that was kind of lame that he was trying to force her. Like,
Yeah.
I was still like, if she likes him, why should he have to try and convince her?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
like,
why doesn't he just, like, say, do you like me, or whatever?
Well, he's not from this country. You gotta give him a break. I mean, he's all American, but he's not from this country.
he
But he-
grew up in the hills, Joel.
And he likes football.
Yeah.
American football.
With the mountain people? I don't...
Oh, no. That's all he said.
Just means he can't swim. I don't think it... I don't know
Oh.
what kind of customs they have in the mountains.
You're
That's
saying-
another skill he has. He can walk on water.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he has these super quick reflexes, so he can actually catch bullets. Not even dodge them. He just, like, catches them. I thought that was actually kind of creative. It's,
Yeah.
You know, like, not just, like, bullets bouncing off him. Like, he turns his gun over after the thing, and the bullets fall out of the barrel, so he perfectly caught them each.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What you laughing
He's
at?
a super trooper.
Oh, okay.
He's a- The song.
Yeah.
It's gonna be in our head.
Yeah. Yeah, listener brother Kim. Yep.
He's a super super, really super trooper. A wonderful one like you never saw. He's a super super, really super trooper.
That song.
Brother Kim. What?
Well, brother to Joel.
Yes, he's my brother. I don't know. Are we
Are we adopted?
Are we
Am
about
I-
to start making acolytes for the podcast?
Yes.
So there's Brother Kim, Brother Scott,
Yep.
Brother Spencer,
Yep.
Brother. Yeah, I'll come up with some other ones. I
Good.
apologize. Write in today if you want to be an acolyte for the podcast. That's pleasedon'tpodcast@gmail.com.
Your requirement is you must watch this movie. Gotta watch this movie, though.
No.
That's the requirement.
You have to watch Quincy's Quest, which came up during the show, and I'm very insulted.
Why?
Because you were saying, like, isn't this just like Quincy's Quest? And I'm like, no.
I didn't say that.
I did, though.
Yes, Aaron said
Aaron
it.
said it.
Oh, I wasn't looking at you when I said that right now. I was looking at Pierce Brosnan's face, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Aaron, how could you say something like that?
Is that going to be our next movie?
I don't know. It looks pretty cool. No,
Okay.
Nomads? Anyone know anything about Nomads? Send an email, please.
Yeah. What is your guys' favorite effect in this movie? Like, what was the thing that Super Cop did that you most got a kick out of?
The styrofoam cup
Oh yeah,
through the air was my favorite.
yeah.
I was thinking that, like, yeah, that's that's a very special moment for us watching it. But I was thinking that, like, of all the things to be using your power for, like, you can't get your lazy ass out of the car and grab that cup of coffee. Like, he uses that power to, like, save his boss from falling down a manhole, and then later he, like, uses it to move an entire, like, Mack truck into a parallel parking space. At this time, he's just like, I really want that coffee. and Ernest Borgnine's taking his sweet ass time. It was a special effect, though. See, the movie wasn't designed for these HD TVs, so, you know, we're breaking that wall.
What was your favorite effect?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I liked it when he escaped from prison. Not the escape part, but the part where after he jumps out of the wall and he does like a perfect diagonal line into the ocean.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That was pretty good.
Because I really want to rewind it and be like, is there just a dummy on a rope or something? 'Cause, like, it's not an animation. It's like something shot like in a perfect diagonal line from a building or rooftop all the way to the ocean.
Well, it's funny you mention that particular scene, Joel, where he's doing like the Superman fly dive into the water, because my favorite scene happened right after that.
Oh, right after that.
Yeah, and that was when he was swimming under the water and he runs into a fish and he asks that fish for directions
My
to where he
man.
can find a boat that's been sunk.
Oh.
And there's like little water bubbles coming up out of the fish's mouth to indicate that he's like responded.
That's real. It's a real thing happened.
That was the moment where when reality snapped for me. And then it just got even freaking crazier after that, because then he does find the boat and he takes a piece of bubble gum underwater. He blows it up to the size of like a hot air balloon or some.
It's a giant balloon that can carry people through the air.
My gosh.
Yeah, he fills that thing with so much carbon dioxide from singing his theme song that it, for some reason, it floats floats above the city, and him and Ernest Borgnine are just hanging out on top of it. And that's a disaster way to act. That would be terrifying.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
Yes, I can imagine. Ah!
It would be scary.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a colorful cast in this movie, I have to say. Like, our lead guy is cool and all, but I gotta say, I love Ernest Borgnine in anything I see him in. Like, I have not been disappointed by anything I've seen him. I just watched The Wild Bunch a couple days ago, and he's so good in that.
I feel like he never half-asses it, for sure. He's always willing to throw himself into any crazy thing that's going on, and that takes bravery and strength to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's not
a super trooper.
He's not afraid to make himself look kind of silly either. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he dances like Fred Astaire. So,
Yeah.
you get those twinkle toes out on the floor.
My man.
I really wanted him to do something crazy.
I was
on
waiting
the
for some
dance
Fred
floor.
Astaire stuff to go down, but
I think that was just like confidence. Like,
yeah.
maybe Borgnine just didn't have the
Wherewithal.
the coordination is what I was thinking.
Oh,
Coordination
yeah.
to be able to do something more complicated than a waltz or whatever. I liked the gang members too.
Yeah, the Paradise, was that his name?
Yes, it was
Paradise, I
Alley.
believe he was my favorite of the gangsters.
You said that was you, right?
No. Oh, I think I meant in the sense of like if I had been a character in the movie.
You with your blue hat and your
The
mustache.
fashion sense.
Yeah, fashion sense wise, his Hawaiian shirt, white hat combo with business coat over Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, okay. It definitely was Miami if you're wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
Ironically, they don't wear Hawaiian shirts in Hawaii, right?
I don't, well, I know some people do.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
They bring them with them or they buy them there.
The big market.
Criminals in this movie all seem to be connected in a small ring to people who they know. There's not much separation between where these crimes are happening and where they are. And he's got a little bit of a gift, so he's following that. But it's like they find out that one guy that they're looking for knows these other criminals, and then the actress that his partner had a crush on all these years ends up being connected to the criminals and helping them. The only person who didn't tie in was his girlfriend, I think. That was, and the chief of police or whatever.
Yeah, not until the end when they kidnap her magically.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
That's about it. So I mean they could have tied a whole bunch of threads, like, because there's that part where they're at the football game and for some reason the only person in the audience or in the the crowd that's wearing a red shirt happens to be some criminal they've been looking at for the whole time, but that's just a whatever part.
Yeah, what a coincidence. You're a criminal and some dude's superpower can only be affected by if you're wearing red, and he's trying to get a moment of zen and your red is messing up his moment of zen.
Oh, it's not a moment of zen. It's a moment of, she said she'd kiss me if there was no one else in the stadium.
Oh, that's right.
That was a little bit creepy. There were two different parts with this guy that were a little bit creepy.
Yeah, he's not handling the whole romance thing very well,
they're in
is
the
he?
Football stadium. Was that her idea? If it was, that's cool, but I'm guessing that he took her to this football game. Who knows? And then he said he really wished that he could get her alone. And it's like, don't be creepy. Like, I understand if you say something like, I'm really enjoying spending time with you, or whatever. I can't wait to, like, be home later or something like that. But to be like, I'll take you someplace almost sounds like he's gonna drag her into a storage locker or something. I don't know. Like, it just sounds
very Dexter. Yeah.
Creepy.
Get into the back of my police cruiser. What was the other creepy part you were thinking of?
The other creepy part, you may have stepped out for a second, but it was the part when he said, you're gonna learn to love my powers.
Yeah.
That's when he froze her in time. He
froze her in time and said,
not
you're
cool.
gonna marry me whether you like it or not. And then he kissed her while she was still frozen.
Yeah.
And when she was able to move again, she hit him in the face and left.
Yeah, that should have been the end of the relationship.
Yeah, we thought that they were broken up.
Oh, I think that's
yeah, because he immediately after that ends up going to the nudie bar.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah,
that was the transition right afterwards.
Yeah, he immediately heads out to the nudie bar.
Kim, why is there a nudie bar in this movie?
You're asking your brother on the podcast.
Kim, I thought up until now this would have been an appropriate movie for children. That all of a sudden there's something else going on here.
Some ladies in some little sequins dancing on a stage.
And you could watch this and be like, hey, those ladies are all wearing clothes. Well, some of them are not wearing opaque clothes. Some of them are wearing transparent stuff. Well, and I know because I walked up to the TV and got real close.
There's a little bit of a nosebleed still on your television.
Oh.
Anime nosebleed.
I wasn't sure until that part if this was supposed to be like one of those Disney movies, like, you know, Freaky Friday or the
Mr. Super Invisible.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it reminded me of. Uh-huh. The sound effects and kind of comedy and like, yeah. I mean, this was a fun movie to watch.
Oh yeah,
and Mr. Super Invisible was too.
I'm just teasing my brother. I don't know.
Yeah,
I do.
But you don't see naked ladies in that.
I mean, it wasn't. It was no tits and tats, you know, from Stone Cold. But
oh right, totally. I've got no room to talk.
Right. I almost thought, like, oh, he's going into a place that says it's a strip club, nudie bar, or whatever. Like, maybe he's going to head straight to the back to talk to the boss. No. There's some woman who's very awkwardly dancing in the front. And then, like, when he does go find the back, there's a whole bunch of ladies dancing, like, in the background. So, and Tony Soprano's there for some reason. I hate that club was called Bada Bing. That's a terrible. Oh, who wants to? Okay, never mind. I just maybe it's very difficult.
Oh, it's all good. He's a super trooper.
When it comes to clubs in movies, now I can think of at least three. This movie, Stone Cold, and what was the Sean Connery in space one?
Oh yeah,
because that definitely had gyrating people doing things.
Outlander? Outland?
Yeah. No, Outlander is the sexy Scottish TV show.
Sorry. Outlander.
No, it's okay. I understand.
That's HBO.
And that's also Morrowind.
Oh, yeah.
Outlander. You're wasting my time, Outlander. Mm-hmm.
Dovahkiin.
Novocaine?
Dova.
Skooma.
You must be one of the Dova.
What is that?
Dova is the word of dragon in Skyrim.
So it's in Skyrim, huh?
Yeah. Dovahkiin.
You must be one of the Dova.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you about the things in the in the Skyrim. Why is he Italian? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's supposed to be Swedish. And speaking of that strip club scene, this is where he really gets, like, I mean, with the three gangster guys, it's been doing this, like, Three Stooges type thing.
Yeah.
But with the boss of this club, he's pushing around and punching him, and then he finally takes out his badge. Like, whoa.
I got the feeling that this was like his reaction to having his relationship problems, man.
Oh,
Could take it out on some criminals.
Okay.
It was abuse of power.
Yeah.
For sure. He was not... I mean, you see this on detective shows where they go and start asking questions when they're not with anybody else and they're kind of trying to shake some answers loose or whatever. But in this movie, he's kind of being funny, but he's also kind of being a jerk.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the first time he has a run-in with the three bad guys, it's at the... What's that guy's name?
Torpedo?
No, the guy with the dogs.
Oh, it's like Silvio or something like that. Silvano.
Yeah. The first time he runs into them, they come into that guy's house, and initially he's like, you guys can all try to beat me up. And then he sees a red sleeping bag and gets knocked through a window.
Yeah, plenty of defenestration in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then he bounces right back and then basically, like, tries to kick all their butts real fast before they leave. It's kind of silly because, like, why not just, like, arrest them or something in the first place for breaking into someone's house? But
he's a rookie. He just, he doesn't... I
guess.
I don't know.
But the part where, like, he slams their hand in the car, like...
Oh, yeah.
That was, like... That would be terrible if that really happened in real life. It was pretty slapstick and Three Stooges, yeah. I was like, wow, that would not be okay today.
The weird thing about when he's looking for Sylvia's or whatever his name is, and it's like totally unrelated to the crime thing. He like wants to find him because he thinks that the old man's going to be able to tell him why his powers sometimes don't work. But it's like, oh, by the way, 3 other people are also looking for him. Oh, why is that? I don't know. And he goes, and then the gangsters show up. And then later we find out they killed him.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah,
Right.
they admit to it, and you never hear anything else about that.
Yeah, because the last time we saw the old man, he was in a car driving away, and of course our superhero friend was keeping up in pace because he's got super speed.
I hadn't even realized that they had murdered him.
Yeah, the boss says it when he's admitting all those things.
Oh.
With his other power, which is the power of
persuasion?
Persuasion.
Jedi mind tricks.
Which he doesn't use on his girlfriend. Which is admirable only in the sense that I would have thought that he would have done that, being so forceful with her.
I wish I could agree with you, Joel, but it was kind of really creepy seeing him freeze her in place. And demanding that she'll be okay with his powers. It was kind of like an Akira moment in a lot of ways.
He let the power go to his head, I think,
Mm-hmm.
a bit in some of these situations. He's just like, yeah, you think you can do this? Well, I'm gonna do this and make it impossible for you or hurt you or whatever. Or make a fool out of you in public. Whatever it is he feels like doing. I mean, he's kind of a little bit mean.
So to spoil the end, the way she tricks him at the wedding is he pulls off her veil and she's got red hair. I think he's the kind of guy who would be like, now that she's asleep, I'll cut off all her hair.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that might be a possibility.
I wouldn't want to get married to somebody that I could potentially be an indentured servant to.
That's where you draw the line. Okay, I'm going to write that down. The one other creepy thing you didn't mention is that whole beach scene part where he pulls the Sandlot And she's trying to give her mouth to mouth, and it's like, oh, put my arms in. But that's okay because she liked it.
What is it? What's up with all these shenanigans he's pulling? Like, why can't he just be normal some of the time?
Listen, in movies, in Italian movies, Italian men are always super lusty guys who are like, oh, there's a woman walking by. Oh, I've got to say the most gross things I wouldn't ever say to anybody.
Like in that one we started watching.
Omnicord.
Yeah. I just remembered A Man Called Rage, too.
Oh. Now that is a good movie.
And that beat that they drop in the club. I forgot about that song until
dang.
right now.
Listener, go back and listen to the A Man Called Rage episode. There is some good beats in there.
Some jams.
Some weird jazzy / dancey disco things. The music that like I usually recall to go completely off subject and talk about this, that I usually just like randomly get stuck in my head is from Lady Hawk.
Oh, okay.
It's like the industrial guitars or whatever.
If I'm trying to think of a song from a movie, I usually think of Top Gun.
Nice.
I haven't heard it. I haven't heard that. Is it sci-fi or fantasy?
It's somebody's fantasy.
Oh yeah. Wait, that's Ferris Bueller. Never mind.
I'm like trying to look up what the other words were in that song.
It's dumb. Yeah, I don't even remember. It's the same lyrics as the Super Trooper song, oddly enough. I think I almost forgot it, and then you sang it again.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
That's fine.
So I'm here for, Joel.
Mm-hmm.
This movie, guys. This movie.
I know. It kind of reminds me of that one we watched too that was under the ocean. There was the one where they had like a whole habitat under like a biosphere.
You talking about the James Cameron movie, The Abyss?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're talking about the one that Aaron picked, where it was the whole city underneath, and they were all geniuses.
Yes.
You remember the name of that one? With Cesar Romero in it?
Oh.
And like Toho was a co-producer?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Nah, I can't remember.
It was like...
That was like too many movies ago.
Was it the Dungeon Master? No, it wasn't that one either.
It wasn't Rage Quest.
Rage War.
Rage War.
So dark.
Latitude Zero, that's why.
Yeah.
That's why I can
Latitude Zero. That was a trip, guys.
Yeah, I'd say it's on the difference between Latitude Zero and this movie is that Latitude Zero had a bunch of recognizable actors in it.
Yeah.
And this was basically just an Ernest Borgnine vehicle that happened to star somebody else.
You did get to see a lot of Ernest Borgnine's butt in this movie.
Yeah. Why did they have so many scenes where he didn't have his pants on? That was really weird.
I asked myself this question a few minutes ago as well.
Yes, sure.
I have no answer.
So the way the movie wraps up is that the criminals somehow manage to frame our super cop into making it look like he murdered his own partner, which I know what they did. They trapped Ernest Borgnine in a freezer on a ship, and then they sank the ship, which luckily the freezer was an airtight unit.
Yeah.
So he
was
cryogenically frozen or something.
Fully sustainable for cryogenic life.
Mm-hmm. And when Super Cop, who was in a helicopter, returned to the police station, they were ready to arrest him.
Oh, yeah, they were ready, dude.
They didn't have a trial. They actually accused him of the crime. decided he was guilty of the crime, and then took him straight to do his sentence.
Yeah, it's the
which was a death sentence.
Death
Oh,
sentence
yeah.
to be executed.
Yep.
Immediately.
And he wanted to eat a whole bunch of why did he want to eat all those beans?
An unexplained question.
I don't...
He said that he was... if he had sinned at all, that it was gluttony. So that makes me think he must really just think they're delicious.
He just loves beans.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, after a long day of super copping, he just comes home and he's like, oh man, all that super crime. Man, nothing gets me hungrier than these baked beans.
It just... And, I mean, the only other time we see him dealing with food at all is when he's making a meringues, you were saying, or something like that?
That was an obnoxious amount of cream or something he was
Yeah.
A
making.
huge amount of
It was like 3 or 4 different bowls.
We
and
never got an explanation on that either, I don't think.
just his power allowing him to continue to stir it.
There's
Yeah.
just a lot of unanswered questions that we need to know the answer for.
You're right.
They were ways to demonstrate his skills most of the time.
Right,
Yeah.
that's silly. I mean,
Yeah. He was a mixer. He was an automatic mixer in that part. With
Hmm.
his mind, he was stirring even though he wasn't there anymore.
That's right.
I was trying to think of another power scene. I'm trying to... I mean, there were a couple of times where he saw through trucks to, like a truck full of people illegally gambling, which I hope isn't a thing. But I don't know.
Oh, have you seen the Speed Racer movie?
Of course, I have it on Blu-ray.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there was no illegal gambling ring, but there definitely was some sort of truck being used
that's right.
for some suspicious purpose.
When Racer X is like doing all those fancy tricks while
Yeah.
trying to get the truck. Yeah. I was thinking of that scene in, was it? No, it wasn't Daredevil. It was the first season of Iron Fist. They like find a truck where a guy is working,
yeah.
and that guy gets horribly injured. Yeah. So maybe I'm totally wrong about trucks. I just feel like they're more stable, in nowadays. Back in the 80s, it would have been a really hard time to have, card games while
Just to be
somebody's driving.
standing up.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Gotta say, it's some pretty good coverage, though, Why would you want to look in there?
Yeah. You should have just shot some holes in it.
Well, he's busy catching bullets inside of his gun, Joel,
That's true.
instead of firing them.
Yeah. He does not use his gun. Although, as a police officer, he has every right to shoot anyone he wants to.
That's right.
What?
I had to look up to see if there's any connection because the ABBA song Super Troopers came out, the album came out in the same year that this movie did. And I was trying to picture, if they had planned on having that as, the theme going through the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
What it would have sounded like and what it would have looked like. But I couldn't find any connection at all, so I don't know.
How does that song go? Is it like...
So, outside of the Mamma Mia movies, did ABBA ever do a song for a movie? You know what? I can just ask Google later.
Yeah.
There's some ABBA songs in movies, but I don't know if ABBA ever wrote a song
Right,
for a
right.
movie.
Isn't that in Mario's Wedding? Isn't that ABBA?
Yeah. Obsessed with.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
But I don't think they wrote any songs for that
Yeah.
movie. This movie, I don't know if we've emphasized this, only had one song.
Yeah, you were saying that it was on HBO a lot?
Well, the first item in trivia on IMDb is this movie was on rotation in 1980 on HBO.
Nice.
So apparently it was important to several people besides the people I'm related to. Important to those IMDb officials.
I feel like it's the kind of movie that you wouldn't plan on seeing. But if it was just on, that maybe you would, like, watch it a couple times.
Yeah, it's perfect for that.
Especially if you were a kid, I'm sure. Yeah.
Speaking of that, who is this movie for?
That's what I was wondering.
This really does feel like a kid's movie, but then obviously it has some weird nudie bar moments.
I think if you cut out that entire part of the movie, you wouldn't harm it in any way whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because although you do see the club owner character come back at one of the endpoints, it's not like we would have been like, who's that guy? Because there are a whole bunch of people in this movie that we're not wondering who they are.
Totally.
And they didn't really establish anything in there except for that this strip club has the counterfeit money also.
Mm-hmm.
And that Super Cop is a jerk.
Yeah. I feel like the rest of it could all be like, even the ones, what did we see? Return from Witch Mountain recently? A lot of the stuff that happened in this reminded me of like the practical effects in that. And some
I could
of
see
the
that.
things that were going wrong with the bad guys were being kind of made fools of and stuff. Oh yeah, and then they just casually mentioned they murdered a guy. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know what to do with that.
yeah.
I mean, you could casually scrape the way the movie handles it. I'm not sure a kid would be like we are being like, wait, did they just say they assassinated a dude?
Yeah.
I feel like if I was a parent and you could be one of those, what are you watching moments? Like, I'm just watching Super Fuzz. Are those women dancing without tops on? No. It wasn't like this a second ago. Kim, you get in your room right now. Okay, sorry.
I looked up on Wikipedia and they have a bunch of like tributes to ABBA that happened on different shows and like mentions of their songs being included, but I didn't see anything about them doing a soundtrack aside from their, musical. But yeah, this movie seems totally random to me. It's really, I mean, thanks, Kim. It was definitely a fun watch.
Oh, yeah.
We had no idea what was coming.
No, it was a lot of fun to watch, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's bonkers.
And I'm feeling like I thought there were going to be some things connected, like by the end, or that there was going to be some, I thought that we were going to find out there were other people that had also been affected.
Yeah.
And that was why the guy with the dogs was running from them. I thought maybe he was psychic or using something to make dogs talk and dogs run faster or something.
Yeah, it could have been like Misfits where like everybody got different powers, like from the lightning.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And at first, before they explained the red thing, I thought the guy in the red shirt in the football stadium was one of them too. I thought he was just like a bad guy one.
Yeah. No, I mean, they were saving all that for the sequel. Super Trooper 2, Super Snooper 2.
The way the music cut in all the time kind of reminded me of a TV show, like...
Yeah, it seemed like you had one specifically in mind, but I didn't know what you were talking about.
I did. I'm trying to remember what it is. I want to say I watched it in reruns in the 80s, and that it was something that either was about crime fighting or the military. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm thinking of. But when you go to and from an action with the same song...
He's a super snooper, really super trooper, a wonder copper on the side of the law.
I mean, Batman does that a little bit. The old Batman TV show.
Well, then there's definitely that little helicopter ride they have that's very Batman-esque.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is that, like, in Batman, they had certain songs for certain situations that, you know, they would reuse over and over again. But
I see what you're saying.
and of course, Batman and Robin will always get in the same situations. But yeah, in this one, like the situation was he was using his powers, I guess, which is the movie.
There may have been another show too that did it. Like every time they went to commercial break, I'm trying to remember.
There was that one show that was like every time there's a commercial.
Which show?
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Oh, duh, yeah. I was like, that sounds like Seinfeld.
That's what it was. Super Seinfeld.
Did you ever play the Seinfeld video game?
No.
Yes, I did.
Cool.
Thanks.
No, thank you, Joel.
You're welcome.
This is the content I can provide for this podcast.
A video game? I think there's a board game, right? Or a trivia game?
I don't even know.
I'd probably win that game.
Somebody modified a level of Doom to be like Seinfeld.
Yes, you can. We've talked about this on a previous episode.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it's just on my mind that much.
Put a link into the show.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. Not to say we're retreading here. But
but we are.
yeah, it happened.
Well. Here we are.
Shut up.
Did you hear about a Seinfeld game, Joel? Never mind.
I mean, it wasn't Magnum PI, was it?
I don't know.
I'm still trying to remember.
No, let's not do that.
Okay.
Magnum PI does begin and end with the same soundtrack, though.
Yeah.
Right. It's not that weird. Anything
X-Files as well.
Nope, stop it. Anything else you want to say about Super Fuzz? Super Fuzz.
Super Fuzz. It was a good time. I laughed. I don't know if I'll ever rewatch this movie, but there were some pretty good moments that made me laugh real hard. There were some moments that were like, I can't believe that just happened.
And when you predicted the ending, not the very end, but right before the
We
end.
could talk about that stuff.
I mean, what did that strike you guys as? Like, when you see a production and you hear a gong sound, does that automatically make it racist, or?
All I know is there was a lot of discussion when I was in elementary school about digging holes to China.
Sure.
And I thought, because this movie looks like it might have been written by someone who had been in elementary school, that it too could end with our characters digging a hole to China.
I think you're making a leap there.
And it did.
Oh my gosh.
It did, listeners.
I have so many problems with that. No, it's the end of a silly movie with a silly ending, but I think he was supposed to be catching somebody falling out of the air.
Right.
And then he said that he took the Force or whatever happened to make him come all the way through the earth.
Ernest Borgnine's body weight was so much that he fell directly through the earth.
Is that what they were trying to say?
I don't know.
I mean, if you're trying to figure out physics and science out of this movie,
okay,
he did fall off of a giant inflated bubblegum balloon.
When you think about it, like the argument
First of all,
from that stupid show, The Big Bang Theory, was that Superman couldn't have caught Lois because she would have died from the impact of landing in him,
yeah.
Right.
So technically they went around that by making him dig a farther hole down so that he could slow down, and then they ended up in China anyway. So I think what we're looking at is a scientifically accurate way to save Ernest Borgnine's life.
All right. Fair enough.
So what I'm saying is this is a perfect movie. Anyone?
Tumbleweed cricket noise.
There was another moment that was kind of crazy like that. That was like, Aaron called it. What was that other part?
The part that I called was in connection with the beginning of the movie, because our celebrity actress, who Ernest Borgnine's sergeant was obsessed with this actress. She was working with organized crime, and he told her about the color red being a weakness, of his super cop friend.
Yeah, you said ahead of time that he was going to tell her what the weakness was, not knowing that she was involved with the bad guys. And that is exactly what happened not much longer afterwards.
Well, I mean, she was bringing red flowers to the prison in the beginning of the movie.
I forgot about that.
And it clicked. I was like, oh, well, now that we know that's the weakness, I was like, yeah.
Well, I knew she was a bad guy. I didn't know that was she was the one who was going to find out. But I mean, that's good enough reason as any for them to find out. Ernest Borgnine, traitor.
But he wasn't really, though. He was just in love, and he wanted to impress his imaginary relationship lady.
I mean, you should get the chair.
I mean, if you think about it, Joel, like, what if you met a celebrity lady you were in love with? Like,
I would tell her everything.
There you go. You tell her all of the weaknesses.
Damn it.
There you go, Joel. It happened. But you'd be dancing like Fred Astaire with her, though.
Oh, I could dance much better than Ernest Borgnine. I'm just putting that out there.
Awesome.
All right. I think we're good. Yeah?
Yeah. But this movie makes me laugh. And I had a really fun time watching it.
Same here.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kim.
Yeah, thanks, Kim.
Wait, hold on. Let me take that over. Thanks a lot, Kim.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Kim, who is Joel's brother. Thank you.
Guys, no, you're not getting what let me one more time. Thanks a lot, Kim. Anyways, I'm going to read the outro stuff. You guys think of a lesson that you learned from Super Fuzz, a.k.a. Super Snooper. He's a super trooper. Hello, listeners. If you'd like to send in a suggestion to us or a comment or you want us to read something on the air, you can email us at pleasedon'tpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/PDSMiOS. If you have a few dollars you'd like to send our way, I recommend you go to the site Ko-fi, that's ko-fi.com, and look for our page there. It's at PDSMiOS, and you can send us $3. Buy us a cup of coffee so we don't fall asleep in case a movie's particularly boring. And for the small price of $9, I will draw you a picture of something from the movie Wizards. That's right.
Oh,
$9.
Nice.
I will draw you a picture. Now, you two, would you say that I am an artist?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that I am good at drawing?
I gotta say, you drew a really good duck.
Yeah.
And then you drew turtle as well.
What duck? That was a turtle.
Oh, you're sorry.
You're drunk.
Yeah.
For $12, we'll get freaking detox for
We
Aaron.
have been talking about ducks a lot lately.
Yeah, you guys have been talking about how ducks are super erotic, and I've just been standing back being like, I'm just going to let them work this out.
No, I didn't say that. I misread something about Kingdom Hearts.
I know what's going on. Anyways, that's ko-fi.com/PDSMiOS. If you got a few dollars to send our way, we'd really appreciate it. And if you want to hear more podcasts like ours, check out the other podcast at eartrumpetaudio.com. We had another new By the Power of Grayskull, and then there was a new Love Ya Like Crazy, where they covered one of the, if not the very first, young adult novel from the 40s.
Whoa.
That's cool.
Yeah, hearing the two hosts talk about that book, it sounded incredibly boring, but not the podcast. The podcast is so entertaining. Like they just take that and they're not afraid to speak their mind on it because they're kind of experts. I just really dig it.
Awesome.
And lesson from Super Fuzz.
Okay. So here's my lesson, all right?
Okay.
So you're a member of organized crime.
Yes, I am.
All right. You're in Miami.
Okay.
And you gotta get some money from
Old man?
You're getting money from some. I guess it was a bank with very thin walls. Be sure though that when you're doing your crime in Miami, that you wear a super shiny silver hoodie.
Oh, yeah, so you can be easily identified from the sky.
Easily identified in that silver hoodie.
We didn't really talk about the fashion. We kind of talked about Super Cops fashion, but
Yeah.
what'd you guys think?
Wow.
It was pretty blue collar, late 70s, early 80s stuff, except for the stuff that the Starlet wore, the one that came from out of town. The gangster guys were in these kind of silly leisure suits. They were like over the top. And yeah, some of them had over the top shades on indoors, and some of them had like hats. Oh my gosh, that cowboy hat that he was wearing. The main guy this was our hero. Had a cowboy hat on that was way too small for his head.
I thought that was just something I was mistaking. No, okay, so it wasn't just
quirky. It was like he had a kid's hat on.
Yeah. 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 He's like American, right? This is what American wear.
Hey, he's played Django in previous movies. I think he knows a little bit more about Western style hats.
No,
than we
fair
do.
enough.
Are there all those people on the cruise ship too? With
Yeah.
tuxedos and terrible mustaches.
Man, that guy with that stare that was behind those guys.
That was Carl Pilkington. Like he had a round head and a goofy
That grin.
goofy grin and a weird mustache.
Oh man. But I gotta say, the hipster with the pipe.
Oh,
Yeah, that guy was for
I
extras.
forgot.
That guy was pretty striking as an extra.
I feel like they had the most character development with his girlfriend out of any woman in this. The menswear, I'm gonna have to say, wasn't that great.
Yeah.
It was okay. I think they must have been on a low budget for this. But
Well, nothing blew up.
for her wardrobe, I don't think they really, went the extra mile to make it anything special. She just seemed like she was dressed pretty like a regular girl would have.
Yeah.
She had some scoop neck t-shirts, and she had like a polyester dress that was button up, but it looked like it may have been like a one piece like outfit with elastic in the waist or something. I did like that her hair was pretty normal. Sometimes people get their hair really styled but she just looked like a regular girl off the street with her hair like that.
Yeah, one of those
Yeah.
American girls, yeah.
He has every right to consider himself a cowboy if he was in spaghetti westerns in Italy.
He was.
It's
I
true.
didn't even think about that. But it is silly that they aren't addressing the fact that he probably has a foreign accent in this.
Oh yeah.
What are you talking about?
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, you're supposed to think that's just his robot accent or something.
Yeah, I'm John Matrix. I'm from America. His robot accent.
And then you go to Austria and you're like, everybody sounds like robots here.
God. I'm gonna die. That's awesome. Did you learn anything, though, from this movie?
Biggest lesson for me is you shouldn't be in a relationship with a guy that you think could potentially at some point in time try to manipulate you in a way that would make it, very uncomfortable for you. You maybe just try to overpower you in some way. I think if this person is capable of that you probably don't want to spend too much time with them.
Yeah.
'Cause, you want to feel safe in your life with people that you trust.
Yeah. You gotta wonder what the relationship was like before he had these powers.
Ah.
I mean, I thought they were pretty into each other in the beginning,
Yeah.
but you never know.
I mean, I think they were. I think they are, but like not to the pushy. For some reason, he was just like, we're getting married. No,
Yeah, no. His attitude was that it was no option. It was just going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, there was no. Your opinion doesn't matter. It's just going down.
So the thing I learned from this movie is that you got to work really hard in your life to get the things that you want. Like, even if something like sets you back as a kid, you shouldn't just accept that like you're cursed or something like that. For example, like if when you were a baby, somebody dropped a whole bunch of spaghetti on your head, you know,
Yeah.
you shouldn't just accept that. You know, you shouldn't be like, why me? You know. I'm just saying.
I had to point that out to you guys.
Well, I definitely saw the poster, but I didn't see that it said "Why me" on the bottom.
Yeah, it was a baby with a bowl of spaghetti on his head in this guy's house, and underneath of it said "Why me?"
Motivational poster.
Yeah. He saw that at the store and was like, "Oh, why me? I have to have this in my house. It's got to be."
What a story!
Seriously.
Oh boy. We'll see you next week, folks. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you.
EarTrumpetAudio.com.
Ideas and entertainment.
Loud and clear.